So I just got back from work and apparently there's some brand new leaks for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Zexal World, which is just crazy to think about because Zexal World is only like 6 days away from the time that I'm recording this video. But yeah, as you guys can tell from the title and thumbnail, we're gonna be talking about some brand new characters confirmed for Zexal World, and we're gonna be talking about some new skills confirmed for Zexal World also. It's gonna be a awesome mix of news and discussion that's gonna be happening in today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below throughout this video because there's a lot of speculation to do. And yeah, let's go get into today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links leak video. Also, if you guys are excited for today's leak video talking about Zexal, you know what to do. Leave a like on the video down below and subscribe to the channel for more Duel Links content. Also, before we get into this video too, I gotta give a big shout out to Zornilla and Mr. Caleb1354 for being YouTube members at the Chaos Dragon Leviathan tier or above. If you guys want to become a YouTube members and get a shout out at the beginning of the video, become a Chaos Dragon Leviathan member today. Other than that though, let's get into today's Duel Links video. Now, the first thing I want to take a look at in today's Zexal World video is that we're going to take a look at all these Zexal character IDs that got confirmed for Duel Links Zexal World. Big shout out to DuelLinksMeta.com, Random Plox, and Yazin for providing the leaks for today's video. And yeah, let's get into it. Now, first things first, as you guys can see on the screen here, are all the character IDs confirmed for Zexal World. We have Yuma / Astral, we have Yuma, we have Astral, we have Renegade Castle, aka Shark, we have Bronx, Stone, and we have Tori Meadows. These are the 6 character IDs that we have right here in the game. And there's a couple ways that Konami could go at this when it comes to the release date for Zexal World. Now, most likely, all these character IDs are not going to be day 1 characters when Zexal World comes out. Like, for example, the Yuma / Astral one is definitely up in the air if it's going to be a playable character or not. Some people are speculating that Yuma / Astral is going to be similar to Jaden / Yubel, where it's basically like a later season of the character that's much more mature than the season 1 characters. For example, we have Jaden Yuki in Duel Links, and we also have Jaden / Yubel, and Jaden / Yubel is the season 4 Jaden, much more mature and all that jazz right there. So it's kind of interesting to see that we have Yuma / Astral here already in the character IDs. I don't think that'll be a day 1 character, but it is interesting to see. Another thing that could possibly be the case is that this could actually just be an alternate name for Zexal. In the show, basically in key points during the duels, Yuma and Astral are able to do like a combo together, go into Zexal form, and basically just kind of pop off and win the duel through anime powers. That could also be another possibility here, but it's still very interesting to see the character IDs. What's also cool too is that we do have Astral as a character ID. On the 25th, there's a live stream that's going to happen where it's going to basically reveal, like officially reveal all the Zexal World content. But in the thumbnail of that YouTube live stream that's happening on the 25th, you actually can see a silhouette of Astral. So there's going to be official Duel Links artwork for Astral. And I'm very curious to see if Konami is going to kind of treat Yuma and Astral like they do with Yami Yugi and Yugi Moto, where we have Yami Yugi and Yugi Moto as both playable characters. But as you guys know from the show, they were like buddies, and you know, they switch forms all the time. So there could easily be the chance that we could have both Yuma and Astral as playable characters, which I would love to see, because even though Astral didn't duel that much, it still would be a cool character to unlock, that's for sure. And then the other one that we want to talk about real quick too is Shark. Basically, Shark has the potential to be kind of like a unlock character that's not going to be unlockable day 1, but it will be unlockable like either a week or a month later at the time of the release day. Because for example, in GX World, your boy Dr. Crowler was a character that was unlockable a month later after that world was released. For Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Officer Trudge was an unlockable character that was released a month later and had his own little special events. And then in Dark Side Dimensions World, we actually had Unknown Duelist and Sarah, kind of like these new characters that you can unlock. So that's basically what Konami's probably going to do with Shark. It would be cool if he's a day 1 character. I would honestly love to see it, but I don't know how that's going to be. But yeah, those are all the character Zexal IDs that we have so far. I'm not going to talk too much about Yuma, Bronx, and Tori because I actually already made a video talking about those characters, talking about all their gate rewards. If you haven't checked out that video, go check that video out after you're done watching this one. But yeah, it is cool to see all these character IDs right here. Hopefully we can get 5 playable characters on day 1. I don't think Konami is going to do that, but if they do, that'd be awesome. But yeah, let's go move on to the skill names in today's video. Now, next up, we're going to take a look at a ton of skills that got leaked for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Zexal World. Now, none of these skills have descriptions for them, so this is going to be a very speculative part of the video where we're only going to go off of them based off their names. And let's get started. Now, the first 5 that we're going to talk about right here are going to most likely be generic skills that all the Zexal characters are going to have. We have overlay gain, numbers rule, number recovery, overlay regeneration, and overlay removal. Now, overlay gain is probably just going to be as simple as just gaining an extra overlay when you have an Xyz monster on the field. So for example, if you have Utopia on the field, you can trigger overlay gain and just add an overlay to the Xyz monster so that you can trigger its skill more than a couple times. Most likely that's what overlay gain is going to be. Numbers rule is going to be up in the air too. Some people are speculating in the community that numbers rule is basically going to treat your number Xyz monster kind of like what they did in the anime, where in the anime for Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, the only way you can defeat a number Xyz monster was also utilizing a number Xyz monster. So maybe you can use numbers rule to basically give your number Xyz monster immunity from getting destroyed by your opponent's card or battle unless they have a number monster to get rid of it. Maybe that could be the case. We'll definitely have to wait and see on that one, that's for sure. We also have number recovery. I'm not too sure what this is going to do. Maybe if you have a number Xyz monster in your graveyard, you can trigger number recovery and send it back to your extra deck, or maybe summon it onto the field. Who knows? Definitely a possibility right there. Overlay regeneration sounds like that you can basically get your overlays back after you use them. So maybe like when you send your overlay unit to the graveyard, you can use regeneration to kind of bring it back to you. Who knows? And we also have overlay removal, where you get to remove an overlay. I don't know if they're going to make overlay removal overpowered, where you can like remove a overlay unit from your opponent's Xyz monster. Maybe it's only going to be allowed to do it on your own monster, but this skill could be pretty good if it states that you can remove an overlay unit from your opponent's Xyz monster. That would actually be pretty cool. But yeah, that's just my quick thoughts on all these generic skills for Zexal World. Definitely going to be skills that we're going to see with all the different Zexal characters when they get added to the game, and hopefully they're pretty cool, because I would love to see how spicy they are when they come out in Duel Links. Next up, let's go take a look at some skills that are most likely going to be used by Yuma when he gets added into Duel Links. The first one we're going to take a look at right here is Warrior of Hope number 39, and this skill is probably going to be the skill that we're going to need to use to utilize number 39 Utopia in Duel Links without paying any gems or whatnot. Essentially, what happened in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's world is that instead of Konami giving us all these characters and giving us all their ace monsters that are farmable from the gate, what they did for like Stardust Dragon, Black Ghost Dragon, Red Dragon, Archfiend is that they basically waited to release all those cards into boxes, but you could still utilize the cards right away through skills. And I'm gonna guess that Konami's gonna do the exact same thing here with the Zexal characters, which I'm personally not surprised. So basically, Warrior of Hope number 39 is probably gonna state at the beginning of the duel, add 1 copy of number 39 Utopia to your extra deck, and then like 2 copies of like Goblinberg or something, so that you can help out and summon into Utopia later in the duel. That's most likely what this skill is gonna do. And then fingers crossed that once Zexal World comes out, we'll get a main box themed around Utopia, so we'll be able to get Utopia day 1 still, and then you can use your gems and whatnot to snag a copy of the card. But if you don't want to waste your gems on it doing that, yeah, you can just use the skill to get Utopia right away too. That would work out. Now, the next skill we're going to take a look at for Yuma is Double or Nothing, and this is a reference to the card Double or Nothing. And the card's really cool because it states that when a monster's attack gets negated, you can target that monster, and during the battle phase you can make it attack again and its attack gets doubled. And this is a reference to Yuma utilizing it from the show. And I'm not surprised that they're adding a skill like this, because one, it's going to be able to combo with Utopia, and depending on how the skill works, it could potentially combo with other cards in the game. Because for example, if Konami adds some cards into the game that like your opponent can use to negate your attacks, you can like trigger Double or Nothing as a skill and stop your opponent from negating your monster's attack and then going for lethal. So that would actually be pretty cool. But yeah, this is clearly a reference to Double or Nothing from the anime. Really cool to see that Yuma has it. And also this leads into the fact that we're probably going to get Utopia as an attainable card in Duel Links right away through a box, for the fact that Double or Nothing is a skill that Yuma has, and it would be kind of hard to trigger this skill without having Utopia restricted to a skill. So that's pretty cool right there. I'd like to see it. Now, the next skill that's really interesting right here is Amimato Play. I probably mispronounced this skill, but this skill is going to be interesting, and I'm genuinely curious to see how the skill is going to work. Because when I did some research for this video, there's a lot of these like Amomat cards that has been showcased when I did a quick Google search. We have this like field spell called Amomatopia, which combos with Utopia and Zubaba, Gaga, Go, and Dododo monsters, which are monsters that Yuma uses. There's like Omado Pickup, there's Omado Paro, there's all sorts of these Omado cards. And I don't know how this skill is going to work, but probably what the skill is going to state is that when you lose a certain amount of life points, you can probably, like, instead of conducting your draw, you get to add one of these 3 cards that I just mentioned in the video outside from your deck to your hand, and then play it from there. I'm gonna guess that's what the skill is, because I see these Amado cards on Google, but like I don't know which one it's specifically gonna be because the skill is kind of vague. But there's that skill right there. Pretty cool because the combos with all of his stuff. Moving on to the next 2. And then the last 2 skills for Yuma that we're going to take a look at is Duel Fuel and Ready for Victory. I don't know what Duel Fuel is going to exactly be. It's either going to give Yuma an advantage at the beginning of a duel, or maybe it's a skill that he can utilize to gain life points in the middle of a duel. I don't know, but it's a reference to when Yuma at the beginning of the show, whenever he was about to head off on his adventure, his grandma was like, here's some Duel Fuel for ya, and he went from there. So that skill's cool. Hopefully it's some like cool skill for life gaining or something like that. And then Ready for Victory, I'm not too sure what this is a reference to. It may be a reference to a card, or maybe it's just gonna be a skill that can help you out when you're already winning a duel, make it a little bit easier. Who knows? But there is a skill right here, Ready for Victory. Another skill that's kind of makes sense for Yuma, because I could definitely see him going feeling the flow and whatnot. But speaking of which, why isn't there a skill in here called Feeling the Flow? It actually would have been a good name for like the Warrior of Hope number 39 or whatever the case may be. Whatever, Konami's just goofy people anyways, it doesn't matter. Moving on to the next skills of today's video. So next up, we're going to be taking a look at some skills that most likely Shark is going to have when he gets added into the game. First one we're going to take a look at is Monarch of the Deep Sea number 32, and this is basically confirming that Shark's ace monster is going to be number 32 Shark Drake, which is pretty cool because this guy is a cool 2800 attack Exceeds monster that has a pretty good effect in going for it. I'm not too sure what other cards would get added from this skill right here, but this skill is very similar to the Warrior of Hope number 39 skill that we talked about earlier in today's video, and this is going to be our way to get number 32 Shark Drake before it gets added into a box and whatnot. But yeah, very cool right there, and I'm glad to see that this is Shark's ace monster and not Leviathan Dragon. Now the next skill we're going to take a look at right here is Full Armored Exceeds Black Ray, which, fun fact, there's actually an Exceeds monster similar to that skill name called Full Armored Black Ray Lancer. And it's interesting to see that Konami has given 2 skills to Shark that are both related to different Exceeds monsters that you use in the show. I don't know if that skill is going to add Full Armored Black Ray Lancer to the extra deck at the beginning of the duel, or if it's just for comboing with this card. I don't really know, but this card is an interesting rank 4 2100 attack water monster. But it's still cool to see that Shark is getting 2 different Exceeds skills for all of his different monsters. That's interesting right there. And just an idea that just popped in my head about that skill is that there's also this other rank 3 monster called Black Ray Lancer. Maybe this skill right here, Full Armored Exceeds Black Ray, could be similar to Seto Kaiba's Ultimate Dragon skill, where Ultimate Dragons adds multiple extra deck monsters to the extra deck that you're able to utilize. And depending on whatever setup you have going for you, you can search for something outside your deck to go for combos. Like for example, with Ultimate Dragons, depending on the conditions in the duel, you can add Polymerization and 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons from outside your hand to go into Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. Maybe Full Armored Exceeds Black Ray could be something similar like that with Black Ray Lancer, which is a card that kind of goes into Full Armored Black Ray Lancer. So maybe that could be a thing. I think that'd actually be a cool concept to kind of recycle that idea from DSOD Kaiba and give it to Shark. I'd like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Now the next skill we're going to take a look at right here for Shark is going to be Territory of the Shark, and some people in the community are speculating that's going to combo with this card called Shark Lair that was used by Shark in the anime, but I don't think it was ever printed. Anyways, though, this card states activate by sending 1 fish type monster from your hands to the graveyard. Monsters your opponent controls with less attack than the sent monster's attack cannot attack. And yeah, I think that this card locked through a skill could be pretty cool, because this card by itself probably could get abused for just how many different fish type monsters we have in the game, and that we're probably going to get in the game when Shark rolls around. So I think it's cool that they're going to kind of like keep this with a skill potentially. We'll have to wait and see though. We don't know yet because we don't have the official text of these skills yet, but that's kind of my thoughts and opinions of Territory of the Shark. And then the last 2 skills that we're going to take a look at from Shark is Magic Combo and Shark's Revenge. Shark's Revenge, I don't know what exactly it could be. Maybe it can be a skill similar to Titan Showdown, or maybe it's going to be a skill that can just specifically boost Shark's Shark monster or whatnot. We'll have to wait and see. Magic Combo, I'm not too sure what that could be. I'm very curious though if we would get any skills in this game that would relate to the rank up cards. I don't think Magic Combo would be related to an Exceeds rank up card. I think it's too soon for that, but you never know. You never know. Also, there's one other skill that I forgot to mention that we should take a look at real quick. It's called You Are Getting on My Nerves, another skill that's potentially for Shark. And this skill probably is a reference to Shark hating against, I forgot what the guy's name is, but I'll remember to edit the person's name in the video. Part of the like first group of antagonists in Zexal. And yeah, Shark did not like this guy whatsoever. So it could be a reference to that. It also could be a reference to the fact that like when Shark was doing battles against like Vector and whatnot in the Barian form, he also got pissed a lot of the time in the show, so maybe it could be reference to that. But then again, in general, Shark is an angry lad, so it's going to be a reference to that, that's for sure. I don't know what the skill is exactly going to do because we don't have the text for it, but it's an interesting name for a skill. Probably going to be related to some sort of comeback or some sort of attack. Who knows? Now, next up, we're going to be taking a look at some skills that are most likely going to be for Kite, and I'm glad that we already are getting skills for Kite because I wasn't sure if Kite was going to be like confirmed for Zexal day one or whatever the case may be. My thoughts though is that Kite's probably going to be or getting the same treatment as Jack Atlas from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. We'll probably get Kite maybe in January, and we'll have to wait a while till we can get him. But what's cool though is that we do have some skills leaked for him. First one we're gonna take a look at is Cosmic Scourge Galaxy Eyes, and I really hope that this potentially is like a cool skill similar to the number 32 and number 39 skills we talked about earlier in this video, where you get to add some copies of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon into your deck at the beginning of the duel. Like maybe, I doubt it's going to be the case, but maybe what that skill could do is that at the beginning of the duel you can add one copy of number 62 Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon from outside your deck into your extra deck, and then add 2 copies or 3 copies of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon into your deck. Maybe that could be something that Cosmic Scourge Galaxy Eyes could be, or maybe the skill is only gonna just add copies of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from outside of the deck into the deck. That could be it too. Probably couldn't be any Xyz monsters. We'll have to wait and see. I'm very curious to see how they're gonna treat Kite though, because I think if they release Kite and then release a Galaxy Eyes box into Duel, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, there's a skill called Cosmic Scourge Galaxy Eyes, probably similar to the number 32 and number 39 skills, but we'll have to wait and see. And then the other skill we're going to take a look at for Kite is Xyz Hunter, Galaxy Regeneration, Number Hunt, Shifting Up, and Ready to Get Defeated. Now, when it comes to Shifting Up is probably a reference to this card called Jump Shift. I've been seeing some speculation in the community when it comes to this card right here, and this card states target one face-up monster you control with the highest level. The levels of all other face-up monsters you currently control become the current level of that monster until the end phase. So basically, if you have a Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field or a Galaxy Dragon on the field, all your other monsters become the same level as that one, so that you can go for some high rank plays. And this skill right here is actually going to be pretty good if it is going to be a skill similar to Upshift, because this is going to help out going into combos with certain rank monsters that you need to get into. So basically decks that are able to spam out monsters and then have like one high level monster and like a few low level monsters, like for example for hires, you could potentially go into some high rank plays with decks like that too, which could be really cool. But yeah, this is clearly to help out into some Galaxy plays, but I think if they make the skill super generic when Kite comes into the game, it could work with other decks like for hires, where for hires can spam out a bunch of monsters on the field, and then you can make the levels of all those guys go together and go for an Xyz play. That'd be pretty cool. We'll have to wait and see though, that's for sure, but I think Shifting Up potentially could be related to Upshift, and that's awesome. And then with the other skills right here, Xyz Hunter, Galaxy Regeneration, Number Hunt, and Ready to Get Defeated, it's up in the air. We could take it at face value, like maybe Xyz Hunter can stop your opponent from going into Xyz plays. Who knows? Galaxy Regeneration, maybe add back a Galaxy Eyes monster from a graveyard back to your hand, or special summon it back onto the field to go for some Xyz plays. We have Ready to Get Defeated. Maybe it's going to be attack boost skill. Who knows? Definitely gonna have to wait to see what Konami does with that, since we don't have the text for them yet, but they are very interesting names, and I'm very curious to see how it's going to turn out. Now, next up, we're going to take a look at Bronx Skills right here, and the first one we're going to take a look at is Return of the Archduke. I'm very curious to see how Konami's going to treat this skill, because on one hand, Konami is probably going to go lazy mode and potentially just make Return of the Archduke a skill that adds 10 Archduke from the outside of the deck into the extra deck, kind of similar to the other main character deck skills that we talked about, like Yuma's number 39 one and then Shark's number 32 one, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Konami's going to go that route, but then at the same time, you can farm 10 Archduke from the farmable gate rewards for Bronx, because that got leaked. So maybe the skill instead could just be like a way to make your 10 Archduke good, or maybe you can bring it back from the graveyard since it says Return of Archduke. I really don't know how Konami's going to do it. Hopefully, if they do make it to where it adds Archduke from the outside of the deck into the extra deck, hopefully they give us some like good main deck monsters to combo with that skill. I don't know what they would be, but it would be cool if we got some good ones. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Next up, we have a skill called Iron Eye, which is probably a reference to A Iron, which is not too bad of a card. It's a 4-star machine effect monster, and once per turn, you can have the card gain 4 in an attack, but it can't attack the turn you activate its effect. So maybe this is a skill that would either boost A Iron or just add it from outside of the deck into the deck. Who knows? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see when it comes to that skill, but it's definitely a reference to A Iron. We also have another skill from Bronx called Iron Call, and it's probably a reference to the spell card called Iron Call. And we kind of, in the community, has been speculating that it might be related to Bronx because Iron Call is a card that relates with machine monsters, and Bronx actually has a lot of machine monsters like that you can farm for and whatnot. So this is probably going to be a skill that's related to a card called Iron Call, and it's going to basically allow you to special summon a machine type monster from a graveyard and help out for some Xyz plays. So definitely going to be something to look out for, that's for sure. And then we also have Recycling Reserve, and I've seen that deck before. People in the community have been speculating that I've seen that deck before. It's probably going to be a reference to the duel that Bronx had against a Yuma and Dark Astral. So that's pretty cool. And then Recycling Reserve maybe going to be something similar to recycling some machine type monsters. Hopefully it's not, though, because we just talked about Iron Call, and Iron Call kind of has that recycling effect already. We'll have to wait and see what's Recycling Reserve. I got no first ideas on that skill, but it seems neat. And then the last skills we're going to take a look at in today's video is going to be some skills for Tori. First of all, we have Fairy Returns, which is probably going to be a reference to Fairy Cheer Girl. Again, probably going to be a skill that adds Fairy Cheer Girl from outside the deck into the extra deck. But like I was saying with Bronx, I hope that this skill actually is just a way to boost up Fairy Cheer Girl, because Fairy Cheer Girl is a card that we're going to be able to farm for when Tori gets added to the game. So we'll have to wait and see on that. We also have some other skills like Cheer Up Fairies, Let Me Duel 2, have some Dual Fuel, Help Me Lilybot. So those are some other skills that are interesting. The Help Me Lilybot one could be pretty interesting because it might be able to add copies of Lilybot from outside of the deck into the deck. So maybe that could be a thing. I think that'd be kind of like a nice meme skill, since people are speculating that Tori's probably going to be the meme unlock character, kind of like with Scud and whatnot from Dark Side Dimensions. So there's that right there. So yeah, could be a fun little meme skill with Lilybot. That'd be fun to do. And then some of the other skills like Cheer Up Fairies potentially could be like beat down, but for fairies, for each fairy type monster you have on your field, each of them gain 300 attack times the amount of fairies on the field. That could be pretty cool. Or maybe it could be for something else to help special summon fairies, who knows. We also have Let Me Duel 2. I don't know exactly what this skill could potentially do, but it clearly is a reference for just that Tori just wants to duel with everybody else, and she's in at Duel Links. So there's that right there. We also have some Dual Fuel. I don't know how I feel about this skill because we already have a Dual Fuel skill from Yuma, and I'm gonna guess that it helps him gain life points. Maybe have some Dual Fuel could like help out the opponent, I guess, and the opponent can gain some life points, and then you can go like with some combos for like a card like Bad Reaction of Samochi. You give your opponent some Dual Fuel, they gain life points, but then you're just like, I'll trigger my trap card and make them take damage. I don't know. I'm just randomly speculating here. I have no clue what Have Some Dual Fuel is going to be. Or maybe it could be a tag duel skill, because Konami has released tag duel skills before that only can be used in tag duels, even though the tag duel feature is not a permanent feature in the game. Maybe that could be it too, where you can give your tag partner, or you and your tag partners, some life point gain. I don't know. Have Some Dual Fuel is weird considering we already have a Dual Fuel skill for Yuma. Who knows right there? Who knows? And yeah, that's actually it for the bulk of the skills, but I do got a couple other things I want to talk about real quick. First of all, we have some new icons in the game, and these are Xyz icons to indicate that a card was utilized for an Xyz summon or whatever the case may be. So that's cool right here. And then we also have another skill right here called Speed World Earthbound, and I like the idea of Speed World Earthbound. Who knows? Maybe Darkseid or Misty can get added to the game because of the fact that they have a Speed World skill, clearly for Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, called Earthbound, clearly for a Darkseid event. Who knows? I like where that's going, though. And yeah, that's actually going to be it for today's Duel Links video. A lot of pack in, that's for sure, when it came to today's video, but I had a ton of fun recording this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you guys haven't already, be sure to comment down below on what you think about these skills and whatnot, because there's definitely a lot up in the air for these skills since we only have the names for them, but a lot of cool things to think about, that's for sure. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's video and you have not already, leave a like on the video down below and subscribe to the channel for more Zexal World content. I'm going to be trying to cover as much Zexal World content as I possibly can, so subscribe and turn notifications on so you never miss an upload. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I'll go see you guys next one. Adios, everybody.